Hello everyone, this is the follow-up video to my Seiko 5 50th Anniversary SRP430 unboxing video. This watch I've had on my wrist for about 3 weeks now, and I just wanted to follow up and talk a little bit about, my thoughts about, the kind of use for which I've had for it, how it's been keeping time, as well as really its kind of versatility for everything that is done, as well as show how it looks on the wrist as well. And, my thoughts as to comfort, reliability, robustness, things of that sort. So first I'm going to delve into its accuracy. First and foremost with this watch, for the first week or so, I was keeping tabs on its progress daily, with how many seconds it would gain per day, how many seconds it would lose per day, as well as its positioning at night, in order to sort of self-regulate itself, self-correct itself before morning. See which positions would work best and what have you. Crown up, crown down, face up, face down, in a box, out of a box, blah, blah, blah. So, the very first few nights, or very first few days, it was running not necessarily high, but it was running a bit higher than what I was expecting. I know the manual says, within the range of, I think it's like 25 seconds or 45 seconds or something like that. And it was well within that range, so I really shouldn't have been complaining whatsoever, because it was doing well below that. I think the highest it ever got to was plus 15 seconds a day. But it averaged well under that, around anywhere from 5 to 6 seconds a day, which I thought was fantastic. However, I still found that, me being the stickler for time as I am, always sending it to my phone, that, I felt like every couple of days I had to pop the crown out, wait for the second hand to hack, because it is a hacking and hand winding motion, the 4R36 movement, so that you can actually make it more precise. I felt that I kept having to do that every couple of days. So, I was kind of apprehensive as to why, or rather not apprehensive, but I was kind of confused as to why I kept doing that. So I started experimenting with different ways that I would rest it at night. And, at first I just put it, face up, exactly like it is right now, and it did absolutely nothing. So I tried it face down. It actually gained time when I did that. So after that, I actually tried the crown up, and it did nothing. I did crown down, and it did nothing. So I was kind of at a loss. I was starting to think that it wouldn't really make a difference whatsoever. So, after a while, I put on my quartz watch, which was side by side in the beginning right here, and I put it on for a couple hours, and I put this watch in the box in which it came in. I attached it to the pillow, and I just sort of stood it up a little bit, and I put it as it's displayed or what have you. And I didn't twist the crown or anything like that. That was another thing. Every single night I twisted the crown 1 or 2 times, thinking that it needed that in order to, keep its charge. Now, when I put it on that pillow and in the case, I found that the time began to settle down rather quickly, actually. Like every hour it would settle down like half a second. And, it would actually do that and self-regulate itself down to plus 3 seconds or plus 2 seconds. It was really quite remarkable. And so I found myself doing that every single night. And I sort of came to the conclusion that if I'm wearing it every single day during the day, there's really no need for me to wind the crown, so long as I'm actually, wearing it for the recommended 8 hours a day. So I stopped doing the crown thing, and I, just continually kept putting it on the pillow and in the display case, and setting it up sort of in a fashion where the face would sort of be up like this, at an angle. Anyhow, I've been doing that for the past maybe week and a half, and I have yet to reset the time, and as a result of that, it is now running exactly with my phone. I actually checked it just before this video, and like I said, it is running exactly with my phone. It's remarkable. I mean, my father's Rolex doesn't run with that kind of accuracy. Granted, he wears it all the time and he never regulates it or, puts it on a winder or anything like that. But I mean, it's running at the kind of specs that you expect from a $10,000 Swiss watch. It's really very remarkable. Now, the different activities that I've done with this watch. I've gone swimming with this watch. I've showered with this watch. I've gone to work with this watch. I've walked, all day in New York City with this watch. So, I put it through its paces where it's actually moving constantly all day. And, in August in Manhattan, where it's hot and muggy, you'd expect it to slow down. It didn't. In air-conditioned trains, and I went to a wedding, where you'd expect it to be nice and comfortable and expect it to speed up. It didn't. It seems like after the initial break-in period, it actually would self-regulate itself, which is remarkable. For a timepiece that was as affordable as it was, it's remarkable that it actually would do these things all on its own. Yeah, so the only instances where I really wouldn't use this watch would be for flat out diving, as the crown is not screw-in, it's push-in, and I just don't want to risk it. And I tend to work out a lot, so I run and bike and things of that sort. I do not use this watch for that purpose. I instead use this watch, which is my Seiko Flightmaster Quartz. And what I did was I put it on a NATO strap. It was on a leather strap. This was my everyday watch. I got this watch to become my everyday watch. That way I could utilize this watch as my workout watch. That way I can keep both in very well working order and not overuse either, while keeping both with specific functionality in mind. Now, that's actually worked out to my advantage, especially when I went on to my friend's wedding the other day. Because we went out and we were having a ball and, doing great things. And, I would use this watch, but, before the wedding, there was a bunch of physical activity. We were setting up and doing a lot of things. It was a country style wedding, so there was a lot of personal setup that had to be done. And so I used my quartz watch, not wanting to damage, scratch, or, upset the timing mechanisms of this watch. So it really works having that dichotomy, being able to switch between watches and still know that you're having, the kind of quality in which Seiko is, famous for. Now, this review isn't about this watch, so I'm going to get that out of there. Another thing I've loved about this watch, it is supremely comfortable. I had to get used to its weight for a little while because it's significantly heavier than my Seiko Flightmaster, but it took me all of maybe 30 minutes of wearing it to actually get used to it, and I haven't looked back. And I can tell you this with absolute confidence, this watch has made virtually every other watch that I look at and dream about obsolete. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, this movement, which is inside this watch, is so reliable. Even though I've had it for less than a month. I mean, I will never look at a watch, even the nice divers, the 7S26 movements that don't hack or hand wind, I'll never look at them. There's no purpose. I mean, if they're going to be less reliable than this, I have absolutely no urge whatsoever to have any kind of watch with that kind of movement. I just don't. The only watches in the Seiko line that would ever interest me would be watches with superior movements to this one. And there are very, very few of them. The 6R15 movement is one of them. The 8L35 Grand Seiko, which is modded down for the Marine Master, is a superior movement. And, of course, the Grand Seiko line. But other than those specific movements in specific watches, there is none that I would consider to be superior to this one right here. This watch is the perfect everyday watch for me. It has the water resistance, it has the complications which I need, the day and the date, it has the secondhand sweep, it doesn't need to be serviced all that much because of the moderately low beat that it has, 21,600 beats per hour. So it really doesn't need to be coddled. This is the absolute perfect watch for me. And really the only kind of watches that I'm going to be seeing myself even contemplating getting after this one would have to either be the Sumo or the Marine Master. And then after that, I mean, I'm thinking about maybe Rolex territory. That's really all that I can think about, because this one encompasses so much of what I need in a watch that I really have no urge to even look anywhere else. I really don't. Okay, now I'm going to put my phone down real quick and I'm going to give you a quick wrist shot, and then that'll be the end of the review. Okay, so as you can see, my wrist is relatively large in size, so this larger watch is quite good. It has good wrist presence. It is not that thick, and it is supremely comfortable. Its profile actually hugs your wrist quite well, and I have to say once again, I absolutely love this watch. The styling, the fit, the finishing, everything is just superb on this watch. I don't know if you can tell from the side, but all the inlays, everything is all actually like, how do you say, on the watch. It's not painted on or anything like that. That's stuff that you see on like Omegas and Rolex and stuff like that. I mean, it's very rarely on a watch that you see that's less than $150, which this one was. It's just absolutely remarkable. I absolutely adore this watch. And with that, I thank you for watching. And yeah, feel free to like and comment. And I hope you all have a great day.